And we are live. We are back for another post-match show following a West Ham victory by a scoreline of 1-0 over Burnley. That sees West Ham slide up into 8th place now, and we are currently unbeaten in the new year. As always, I am joined by my co-host, Irish Tommy. How you feeling, mate?
Vexed. I know, it sounds amazing. I know people are going to say, what the fuck are you talking about, Tommy? Like, we just beat Burnley, 3 points, moved up the table a bit. And that's all good, as for what it's worth, the most important thing is the 3 points, obviously.
Yeah.
But there's just some things that have been building with me that are just grating really on my nerves in a big way now. And I just saw it in abundance today, and I can't hold my tongue on this anymore. It's really
we're going to have to get into. It needs to be addressed. I know exactly where you're going with it, and just lack of effort, or just piss poor in the final third.
Yeah, we've spoken about this before on this show because this has been my thing for a while now, and it's still happening, and it's pissing me off. And I'm really angry following that game. Listen, for us to be hanging on after that performance and the opportunities we created, to be hanging on to make sure of the 1-0 in the final 20 minutes just should not be happening. It's happened before. I'm getting sick of it. For example, our home game with Man United, we should have been out of sight after an hour. We were all over them, created numerous chances, and because we can't take them, we ended up losing that game. We could very easily have dropped 2 points today.
Yeah,
except our saving grace today was that Burnley just struggled to score goals. They score very few goals, so that was our saving grace, and the fact that Dawson had an unbelievable game, as did Ogbonna.
Ogbonna is become, for me, like Rice. We do not talk about them at all on these shows just because they're so good. I mean, they don't need to be talked about because they're so reliable and their quality performance. Souček's in there too. I don't think we've ever talked about Souček having a bad match.
Yeah, he didn't have his best one today, actually, Souček.
No,
he was average today, but defensively, again, I thought, Sofel, Dawson, Ogbonna, Cresswell all did very, very well defensively. Now, Souček and Rice did very well defensively as well. Souček didn't offer really much going forward. He had a quieter day going forward, but defensively, Souček put in a shift, so we can't slag him too much.
Yeah.
So the backs in the midfield, I'm fine with. Obviously, Antonio was Antonio. Ran his socks off, did a lot of good work, scored a goal. So I don't have any complaints about Antonio. He was himself, his usual self. It was great to see that he's back on the pitch now and playing 90 minutes and looks good.
Yeah.
The problem is between the, say, defensive midfielders, Souček and Rice and Antonio. The problem is Fornals, Benrahma, Bowen, Lanzini, Yarmolenko, and this is going to sound crazy to some of our fans, and I'm going to get backlash for this in the comment section, no doubt. All of those players need to shape up or fucking ship out, as far as I'm concerned, because that's not good enough. They work very hard, they run a lot, they get on the ball, they get into brilliant positions. But as soon as they reach the edge of the penalty area or get into the penalty area, they almost invariably fuck it up. And I'm really getting sick of it, because we should have been out of sight in that game. That should have been a very comfortable final 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Every time Bowen gets in the box, fucks it up. Fornals goes in there, fucks it up. Benrahma goes in there, fucks it up.
It almost looks like they're just overwhelmed and nervous. It almost looks like nerves, like they just lose all ability, like decision-making wise. It looks like they just collapse. They don't know what to do.
Yeah, there's kind of brainless stuff going on in there. they get into great positions, and they all did today. And then just the final ball is either dreadful, or the decision making is terrible, and they don't play the ball they should play. It's just horrible. And then to compound it, then Lanzini came on, so did Yarmolenko. Yarmolenko, all he had to do was square the ball to Antonio, and he was one-on-one with Pope. Could have slotted home, made it 2-0, and then we're comfortable. Lanzini, 17 yards out, edge of the box, nothing but the keeper in front of him, and hoofs the ball high up over the bar. This stuff cannot go on. Like, as much as I love Fornells, Bowen, Benrahma, now Benrahma I'll give a little bit more allowance for because he's young and he's inexperienced and he's still learning and he's still improving.
Yeah.
So I can cut him a little bit of slack for now. But Bowen and Fornells should know better at this point. They've played enough Premier League games to know what ball to play and when. And for some reason, they still don't. So the amount of wasteful ball in our final third still is shocking. It's cost us points before. It will cost us points again.
Really quick, I went back and looked at the scores. Do you know when the last time we scored more than one goal in a match was?
Last time we scored more than one.
Yes.
Was let me see, at Leicester or something stupid like that, was it?
It was the Brighton match, the 27th of December. So 5 matches ago.
5 games ago, yeah.
But you take that out. The last one was now over a month ago. You take out the Brighton match. The last one before that was against Leeds when we scored 2. And that was the 11th of December. So we have gone a whole month. And subsequently, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 matches. And only 2 of those have we scored more than 1.
Yeah, and you see, the problem there is that the issue isn't us creating chances.
It's finishing.
We create chances. It's the less ball or shot or decision is awful, and it was awful again today. And
yeah,
you know, Bowen and Fornells and Benrahma, I'm sorry, they've got to be better than that.
Yeah,
in the final third. That they have to be more clinical. It's just going to keep costing us points.
Yeah.
We should have scored at least 3 goals today. At least. And on a really good day, you know, which you can have where you everything you hit goes in, we could have got 5 goals today. You know, so it's driving me crazy now because it's really going to cost us points. So, you know, Bowen has to sort himself out. Fornells inside there has to sort himself out. So does Benrahma. That they all do. And here's the thing with me, and this is going to sound. I know there's going to be fans who are going to think I should be put into an institution for this. Okay, if I'm the manager, and I'll be completely honest, in my head right now, I'm thinking if they don't fucking shape up inside the penalty area, I have to replace them with players who will.
Yeah,
I have to replace Bowen. Fornells, you know, with players who are going to come in and are actually going to be clinical in and around the box. I know they're like, we love Fornells, I do too. Bowen, they put a shift in. They're really good players and they do a lot of good work right up until the point where it really matters. And then they almost invariably make a fucking balls of it. Yeah. We have to have players in there who are clinical and who make the right decision, whether it's in their finishing or in the accuracy of the ball that they play or in the decision-making of playing the right ball at the right time. They don't have that. And honestly, I would have no problem if this continues with Moyes deciding, you know what, they've got to go.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree. At the end of the day, though, for me, I know that right now we're kind of playing on borrowed time because it will cost us points eventually. But at the moment, we're still getting wins. We're undefeated in 2021. We've won all 3 this year. And I mean, we haven't. I guess we dropped points last against Southampton, but I mean that was kind of different. But I do agree to a point. I do hope that we start hearing some more transfer news, especially with potentially getting in that, like Dia or the Daka, whoever we end up. I hope that there's a little bit of more urgency. I know that this is West Ham and our board after all, but I hope there is a bit more urgency in getting in a player who, like Dia, who I believe has a higher conversion rate than all our entire team.
Yeah. Now, look, for clarity, I'm not saying ship them, sell them all right now, but
No, yeah.
I would be having a word saying, listen, this ain't good enough, guys. You've got to be better. What was that from Father Snowman? I'm not.
Doesn't he'd take a 1-0 game rather than paying 40 million for potential waste.
Sure.
I don't disagree with that.
Doesn't really relate to what I'm talking about, but so obviously a 1-0 is better than Burnley having equalised, but
right.
It's only because defensively, we're so good, and Burnley struggled to score goals. We were punished against Man United when we should have been out of sight after an hour, and there will be other games going forward where we will absolutely drop points when we should have been out of sight, or we'll lose games, stupidly 1-0 because we couldn't fucking score. And like you say, we should be scoring a lot more goals given the chances we create going forward. So it's got to improve. It's all right, passing it over today because we got away with it and we won 1-0. Yeah. But, see how you feel when we've dropped points in 3 consecutive games, all because we're dreadful in the final third. Then people will be out arms in the air going, what the fuck's going on? So there's no point waiting, until down the line when it eventually pisses you off, when it's really costing you points and positions in the table. It's a problem and it's got to get sorted.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. But I mean, it does suck ranting like this when we're talking about a win after all. One thing you did mention there too that we need to talk about too is this is now 4 clean sheets in a row. This defense has turned a massive corner, and it's kind of incredible how tough we are to break down.
Yeah, it's brilliant to see, and we saw it again there today. Because today was particularly impressive defensively, I thought, because Burnley are very, very strong in the air. They're a physical side. They will try to bully you, and they got plenty of crosses in. They played some long balls up to Wood and Barnes, but like Dawson and Oggy just dealt with them all day long.
Yeah.
Kofel was very, very good defensively down the right hand side for the most part. He had a little bit more trouble with McNeil when he came on, but obviously McNeil was fresh legs coming on against a right back who was tiring more and more as it went on. So no fault of Kofel there really, but. Yeah, defensively, we're very, very solid, really organized, experienced as well. I mean, you look at the experience of 3 of those back 4, right? So Premier League wise, I mean, Cresswell, Ogbonna, Dawson, just bags of experience. Sofel not so much in the Premier League, but let's not forget this man has played Champions League and is an international.
So, yeah, I mean, he's 29, so he has plenty of experience. He's played against top opposition.
Plenty of experience outside the Premier League, and he's played against some very, very good wingers over his space of his career. So, and obviously Rice and Souček are also very strong. They're big, they're strong, they're tall, and they get back in there and help out as well. So we are exceedingly difficult to score against. And it was really evident there again today. And it's great to see because, let's be honest, that's what won us the points today.
Yeah.
More than anything else, our defensive solidity is what won us that game. So props to the backs. And for me, props. For me, I thought Dawson and Oggy particularly were just unbelievable. Oggy was down playing winger.
I know.
He flicked the ball over fucking, I can't remember whose head it was. He just flicked it over his head and ran beyond him and was like crossing the ball in. I'm like, fucking hell, Oggy.
Yeah. Ogbonna is getting better with age. It's incredible.
He's 32, yeah.
would it be a stretch to say that we should sign Dawson on a permanent basis this window?
In January?
Yes.
I wouldn't. I know that some people are going to say, "Why not?" He's playing brilliantly. I'm still acutely aware that next season he's going to be 36. You know, he's 35 now, right?
Hang on here. Where is it? I have player's age actually. He's 30.
Oh, is he 30?
Yeah.
Oh, he's way younger than I thought. I thought he was way older than that.
No, I was going to say, I didn't think he was that old.
No, I thought he'd been around longer than that.
No, he'd be older than Noble, I believe, if he was 35.
Oh, that's a totally.
He'd be older than Noble. He would be Noble's 33, and we call him old.
Yeah, I suppose I'm thinking he just looks 35. But yeah, no, look, fair enough. That's different completely. Yeah, if he's 30 years old, he has another 4 good years in him.
And plus it allows us, it frees up a domestic loan, so we can bring in another player as well as potentially Dia or Daka or whoever we end up getting as a striker, because it looks almost inevitable at this point.
Yeah, look, Dawson is going to be cheap, so if we can get him cheap, then by all means, we'll sign him up. Yeah.
This is the greatest description of Dawson I have ever read.
He only reads the Old Testaments, where all the violence is. That's his favorite one. Defensively, as you say, Chris, we're just rock solid. It's brilliant to see. And I know attacking and scoring goals is sexier, but I fucking love seeing dogged defensive performances like we saw today.
As much as I would love 3 goal victories, I will take a 1-0 game all day. I love clean sheets because it means that it's all on you then. I mean, just 1 goal gets you the win and demoralizes the opponent even more. So for me, I love a defensive performance.
Yeah, I just love watching Augie do his thing, man. There were times today where he didn't even touch the ball when a cross came in, and I just thought, oh wow, do you know where he's just so experienced. The ball comes in, and he literally just leans on the fucking. He leaned on Woods, and literally just kept Woods moving forward so that he ran past the ball, so he never even needed to touch the ball to defend. He just eased fucking Woods out of the way from under the ball. Just experience and ability just off the charts with Ogbonna.
I'm not saying I wouldn't love 3 to 4-0, like 3 or 4-0. I'm just saying I don't care how many we score. I just prefer clean sheets.
Yeah, and it's not it's not an either or. We could have scored 3 or 4 today and had that great defensive shift put in at the back. So
someone commented as well, it's great to see Fabianski come back in and get a clean sheet on his return.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. Look, Fabianski is still a very good keeper, but he didn't have to deal with anything that wasn't routine really today.
No, true, but I mean, sometimes you need those kind of games, and that's a big confidence booster coming back off of injury. So
yeah, but it helps as well when you're looking in front of you and seeing who's there. I mean, it gives you a lot of confidence, and so defensively superb. Actually, look. The whole performance was very good.
Yeah, absolutely.
We played very well going forward. It was just that when it really counted, it was awful again. And it's been like this for a while.
Yeah.
So it's been like this for a while, and we've got to sort out Bowen and Benrahma and Fornals and Moyes has got, or somebody, whoever's going to deal with this in training. I'm the same, to be honest, Kieran. Bowen, just drove me crazy today.
Yeah.
So did Fornals at times as well, but Bowen particularly, because he more than any of them gets into really good positions.
Yeah.
And just doesn't do anything with them, and he is very wasteful. But we're like that in general in the final third. The ball that really counts, we almost always make a fucking balls of it.
Yeah.
And I'm. It's really a worry for me now because it's been happening for a while, and I know I've been bleating on about this for a while. That in the final third we're just awful,
Yeah.
and it's not a striker problem. Antonio didn't do anything wrong today. Antonio did his thing. But it's the players behind him that have got to be more clinical. It's going to
Yeah.
keep costing us points. So I would hope that it's not lost on Moyes and the other coaching staff that they've got to get them into training and have a word with them and say, have a look back at, just show them today's game again and say, guys, come on, look, how many wasted opportunities are there? And even Bowen and Benrahma Fornells would sit down and look at it and would have to hold their hands up and say, yeah, look, we've got to do better.
I want to talk about Benrahma too. For me, he had a pretty good game. Is he finally starting to adapt to the Premier League? Obviously, he hasn't gotten contribution with too many goals or no goals and not too many assists. So we're still waiting on that kind of production from him. But is he finally adapting and growing into the Premier League?
Yeah, he's improving. Today, I thought was his best game for us. He had a really good game. He definitely looks like he's adjusting. He's getting used to the pace of the Premier League. He's getting used to the fact that his decision making has to be snappier, that everything has to be done more quickly because he's not going to have the time and space that he had in the Championship. So he's adjusting, which was great to see because he was definitely much improved again today, I thought. So it was good to see. I was really happy with Benrahma's performance today. Very happy. But like I say, he just needs to now continue that now and just improve in and around the box. Just that final ball, final pass just needs to be a little bit better again. But hopefully that'll come.
Yeah, and I think it will too. I think the more playing time he gets, the more confidence he gets. And it'll come in time. So I think we just have to be patient with it. But I think he's getting the hang of it.
Yeah, like I said to you previously when we spoke about this, Chris, the only way this happens is minutes, right? The only way it happens is you get Benrahma on the pitch every game and you keep playing him. And that he'll improve very quickly if he's playing every week.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that the same comes now with Odebeku. I think he's just about to bust in. I think he's going to start getting some minutes. Obviously, he wasn't able to feature tonight, and I think that's solely because 1-0. I don't think Moyes wanted to bring him on with that kind of added pressure. Did a light go off in your room?
Yeah, I just lost a bulb.
I was going to say, it suddenly just got darker.
Hope it's not too dark, but
no, you're fine. But obviously, I don't think Moyes wanted to bring him on in that kind of match where it's kind of like, all right, it feels like we're hanging on a bit more. So this is not the match for him. So I'm hoping he gets to feature in the midweek game again.
Well, I'll tell you, it's going to be interesting now because even at 1-0, I still would have brought Odebeku on for at least 20 minutes. Because we have a game Tuesday evening. I mean, what do we do now? Realistically, can you start Antonio again Tuesday night?
I mean, unless we get Dia in and he gets acclimated like that, which I don't think that's.
Well, no, Moyes doesn't really tend to throw people in, but it'll be interesting to see. I mean, does this mean now that Moyes will feel like he kind of has to start Odebeku on Tuesday evening?
I think there's a strong argument for it.
Or maybe he thinks, fuck it, I'll just start Antonio, but only give him a half or something. I don't know, but
yeah, I think Odebeku has to feature. If you want to start getting him acclimated to the league, considering we're halfway through the season now, you have to throw him. West Brom is the perfect match to throw him in against. Like, at some point, you have to start. At some point, you just have to kind of say, all right, we're going to try it. The same kind of thing happened with Declan Rice. I mean, they threw him out there because they had to. I'm like, okay, maybe this kid actually has the talent, and look where he is now.
Yeah, of course, yeah, but obviously, I agree with all of that. But Well, yes, Thibaut. I mean, look, like I said at the start, the most important thing is to win and get the 3 points.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Thibaut, that there are certain things going on that will make it more difficult for us to get 3 points than it should be. And it will cost us points. There will be games where we do not get the 3 points that we should have gotten them in because we're so dreadful in the final third, where it really counts. That final pass, the final shot, final decision of what ball to play. You can't just ignore it because we won 1-0 today. It has to be addressed. So that's what I'd say about that, Thibaut. Look, if you could guarantee me 1-0 wins all season, I'll take them all season. But this is going to cost us. It already has this season cost us points, and it will again. It has to be addressed. You can't just ignore it because we won 1-0 today. Of course, we'd all take a 1-0 win. A win's a win, but you can't just ignore it. But yeah, as regards Odebeko, yeah, I agree. He needs to start coming through now, but I think he will. The fact he's on the bench now, says a lot. I think.
That's a good sign. That's a good sign. That
and Moyes, because of our dreadfulness in the final third, Moyes might actually be forced now to start him on Tuesday evening because he had to play Antonio for 94 minutes when he really didn't want to, and frankly shouldn't have had to. He should have been 2-3-0 up, 20 minutes to go, and he should have been comfortable in saying, right, Antonio, off you come. We can throw Odebeko in now just to see out the game.
Yeah. I do want to take a moment, though, and just kind of reflect. So it's the West Brom match. After the West Brom match on Tuesday, we'll officially be halfway through this season. As it currently stands, we are sitting in 8th place, 29 points, 3 points off of Champions League, 4 points off of 2nd place. When at the beginning of the going into this season, we were probably favored for relegation. Just to put into context, that 29 points. All of last season, we had 39 points. 29 points almost survives relegation last year, and we're halfway through the season. So this has been a hell of a start to a season.
Yeah, the first half of the season, I think, it has far surpassed anything we really expected, especially given the first 10 games we had. So yeah, very happy overall. Very happy overall. And like I say, Moyes is doing a very good job. You have to hand it to him. And like I said, the first thing he did was he stopped all those stupid goals that we concede. Like we're still not prolific. We still struggle a little bit at the other end.
Your cat just hopped up on your counter there.
Yeah, they like going up on the windowsill and looking out the window. You know how nosy cats are.
Oh,
yeah. But yeah, defensively, he's made us unbelievably solid. We're very well organized. Our fitness and conditioning is unbelievable. And so he's done a lot of good things. So I do think the next thing now is he has got to sort us out up front. He's, we don't score enough goals. Our defense wins us a lot of games, and gets us a lot of draws, because they're so good. So now, if he can address how clinical we are up front, which I think really probably just needs some tweaking more than anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing that they couldn't figure out on the training pitch. I don't think it's that you need a revolutionary new ideas. It's just go back to basics.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it can be coached out of them. Basically, they can be coached, I think, into just thinking a little bit more about what they're doing. Like you said, they seem just a bit over anxious.
Yeah.
When they're around the goals, I think they just need to calm down a little bit. Just make a calm decision, whatever it's going to be, whether it's to shoot, or just to lay a ball off or cross or whatever it's going to be. Just be a little more clinical, a little more clever in what you're doing. Like Yarmolenko there. I mean, look, playing the square ball there to Antonio, it's a fucking no-brainer.
Yeah.
That's a no-brainer. So it just drives me crazy. I know Snowman is saying there about the worst result was the 3-1 loss at home to United. That's exactly what I'm talking about, Snowman. So exactly, we should have been out of sight after an hour. We were all over United for an hour.
And United is now leading the table.
Yeah. Okay, don't know if you all can still hear me, but I'll carry on and see if Chris comes back. But yeah, I mean, Snowman, look, that was exactly my point. In that United game for the first hour, we were all over them. Yeah, we were okay. I carried on.
Switch tabs and accidentally hit the X.
You were gone. We didn't notice. But I was just addressing Snowman there because it goes to my point. I mentioned the United game earlier that we should have been out of sight after an hour.
Yeah, think about though that right now, if we performed how we should, like if everything, we should have been like you said, we should have been out of sight after an hour. If that match went that way, West Ham would currently be tied for 5th, or we'd be sitting in 6th place, tied with City, Leicester, and Everton on 32 points. United would be down on 33, and we would be 1 point off of top of the table. That's incredible to think about.
It is, yeah. I mean, that's why I get so frustrated and pissed off about this, because I keep seeing it. I just keep seeing it game after game. Where I'm at the point now where I see as we have an opening when Bowen has been put in down that inside right channel. And even if we have an overlap with an extra player, I just keep thinking they're going to fuck this up. And they almost invariably fuck it up. We had on that breakaway when Yarmolenko got the ball. Sure, we were like 3-on-1 at one stage, and then it was like 3 against 2 by the end of it, and still got nothing from it. And I almost turned the game off. I was going crazy, and it's the one thing that's really pissing me off about this team. And I really hope Moyes and his coaching staff get a handle on this, because there's going to be games where you and I are going to be sitting here in the post-match show where we're going to be going mad, or I'll be going mad again because I'm already on this.
Tommy.
Where the people in the chat, Tebow and Snowman and all whoever else, are going to be losing their shit because we should have fucking won that game 3-0 and we ended up losing it 1-0.
Yeah.
Because we're not clinical up front.
Yeah, I agree. Before we start wrapping up here, I want to talk about West Brom. Or how do you feel going into that match? Do you think should it be a relatively comfortable match, or is it going to be West Ham where it's going to be basically?
No, it'll be close. It'll be very close, and it'll go right down to the wire. Basically, because we're terrible in the penalty area, around the penalty area.
Well, I mean, we don't. It's incredible that we're one of 6 teams across all divisions that have not had a penalty this year.
Yeah, it's amazing. We've had not a single penalty. Do you know? Oh Christ! Okay,
hey, back.
Okay.
Let there be light, and there was light.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know what the hell is going on with that. There's obviously a little small. I'll get up there later. There's obviously some minor little wiring issue there, loose wire or something. Yeah, no, look, the West Brom game once again is going to be very close, very tight. No matter how we play,
most importantly, do you think we win? Or what is your prediction for the West Brom match on Tuesday?
Yes, I think we'll scrape it. I think we'll scrape this one as well. But we're not. Listen, we're not going to destroy anybody really, because we're just too poor up front. So I think we'll beat them. Like I predicted a 1-0 win against Burnley. They don't score many goals, and we're very solid defensively. So I thought we could keep them out. But equally, at the other end, we are not very good.
To Burnley's credit, though, I mean, they do not allow many goals in either. So,
But I thought we created as many chances
Oh, yeah.
against Burnley today as anyone has all season. I mean,
This is my prediction. I think it's going to be a 2-1.
yeah, I think 2-1 is very likely, something like that. We won't score more than 2 because we're just, like I say, I don't want to flog a dead horse here, but it's going to be, all our games will be close, even if we play extremely well and are completely on top, because we just don't score enough goals. So, yeah, I fuck it. You know what, Chris? I worry more about West Brom as well. I know Matthew says it there, and
This is true.
not more than Liverpool. Sorry, I didn't read that bit. I'd be a bit more worried about West Brom than I was about
I
Burnley.
understand what he's saying, though, because we usually end up showing up against the big boys, and we end up scoring 3-4 goals somehow. Then we go and play the relegation candidates, and it's by the scrape of our teeth.
Yeah, I have a nasty feeling we're going to drop 2 points against West Brom.
This would be on brand for West Ham.
It would be, wouldn't it?
That would be so on brand.
Yeah, that would be.
Now that's all that's in my head. Snotty hat trick.
Yeah, thanks for that. Now I'm going to have nightmares for the next 3 days. So, yeah, I've got a feeling we're going to drop points in this one. West Brom are better going forward. They've got better, attacking players.
Today.
Yeah, they're a little more tricky, even though we're good at defending. I think actually we'll outplay them, and I think we'll create opportunities, but we just won't take them. I think this might be a 1-1.
Yeah, I could see that. I think that we scrape it 2-0. I think that I just have this feeling. I think we'll score first. I think they'll equalize, and it's going to be a late goal for us.
The only thing actually that might make me really wrong on this is our set pieces. I don't know that West Brom are as good at defending set pieces as Burnley are. So we might have one of those days like we had up in Elland Road where they really struggle against us on the set pieces. And of course, we could score a goal or two from that kind of situation, which would be nice. But
we hit from goal posts. That's a stat that's going to be that West Ham have to start keeping.
Yeah, Augie hit the post today, so.
I loved your tweet about what Clip's gonna have to put the sound in, and then Becky commented back, "Tibbles is gonna get a pounding."
Yeah, poor Tiddles is gonna get it now because of Ogbonna.
I love those clips. Would you take 2 draws or a win and a loss?
Win and a loss is 3 points.
Yeah,
loss is 2 points. We take the 3 points over the 2.
Yeah, I agree.
Points are the most important thing, right? That's what gets you up the table. So, yeah, I'll take win and a loss because it's more points.
Yeah, but listen, I do have to go here shortly. For those of you who know that I'm always bouncing around with these shows, obviously I am in a new location. I am visiting the town of my alma mater, Ohio University. So I'm in Athens this weekend. So I am in a hotel room right now. So if you're wondering where the hell I was at in the world now. But we will be back here for the West Brom match, assuming Tommy's able to, as always. And yeah, thank you, Tommy, for joining me. Thank you, everyone, for joining us in the chat. Tommy, do you have any last words?
Yeah, I'll end on because I've been moaning a lot, so I'll end on a more positive note. Look, 3 points, good performance, moving up the table, up 2 places to 8th, maybe temporary, but we'll see. So overall, I'm happy. We just need to sort out what we're doing in the final third. So bring on West Brom Tuesday night, and if we can get another win there, Chris, that'd be absolutely brilliant.
I agree. It would definitely better spirits. We'd be on 32 points halfway through the season. I'll take that. I would have bitten your hand off for that back before the season started.
All day long, yeah. And if Augie doesn't get Hammer of the Year this year, he never will.
Oh, yeah.
Give it. It's our defense is carrying us to this position in the table.
Yeah. But listen, as always, thank you everyone for joining us in the chat. Again, thank you, Tommy, for joining me as always. We will be back here on Tuesday following West Brom. And until then, come on, you Irons.
Come on, you